everybody. It's your host, Dino Perelli, with another episode of Old Guy Stuff. Today we're going to talk about your health. If you're an old guy like me, you may find that stuff starts hurting more, or muscles get sore easier, or in my case, your joints just don't want to work anymore. I mean, I got all kinds of crap going on. But I found this product, and I've known about it for quite a while. I originally was turned on to this back in the 80s. But it's called a TENS machine. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They come in many different styles, and there's commercial equivalents and everything else. This is just an inexpensive one I found on Amazon by a company called Ovon or Avon, A-U-V-O-N, something like that. And it's just a little unit. It's called a TENS machine. Basically, what this does is it applies electrical impulses to your body through these little pads here, which you attach to your skin. They're have little sticky stuff on them, you know. Like, for example, let me put something together here. Like, I have issues with my shoulders. You know, I'm bone on bone, you know, with arthritis and crap. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these. There's positive and negative. There's two channels. You have a positive and negative for each channel, red and black. So I'm going to put these strategically, somewhat, where the issue is. So I put one here on the muscle of my upper arm, and then one up here on top of the shoulder. Okay. Now the idea is being, and of course you have two channels, so you got two sets of these. You can do both shoulders at once, or I suppose you could just do one at a time if you wanted to, and just turn the other. Don't turn the other one up. But we'll go ahead and do both shoulders at once. Besides, I get to be all sexy here and take my clothes off for you and stuff. All right, so this one will go right here and up here. All right. So now all I have to do is go in and turn this on. That. I've already got my settings preset. There's different types of there's modulation, or you can keep it, you can put it in bursts, or you can just keep it at one steady thing. I put it on modulation, so it kind of stops and builds up, goes back, builds up. And there's different settings that normally it'll go for 20 minutes at a time. Now you have these two dials on the top, left and right. As you turn these up, you'll feel the electricity start going into your shoulder. And that way you know everything's working. For example, I usually start out about 15. It depends on the different parts of the body. My shoulders like this, I'll probably get up to about number 20. Once you get used to it a little bit, it takes a second to get used to it. But you know it's working when you get up high enough that you can still, you know, it's almost a little painful, but it's just more irritating than pain. Because it's sending electricity into your shoulder. And I don't know if you could see this, if you could see my shoulders actually twitching here. You may see I'm falling out of frame, but anyway, it works great. It really does. You sit here and just watch TV with this on, and you could feel it contracting and releasing your muscles in your shoulders there. And of course, depending on where you put the pads will make a big difference as to the effectiveness and stuff. But so you sit here for 20 minutes, it'll turn off by itself. You can see it actually makes you, it makes the muscles tense up, so you know it's working. And surprisingly, it will help. It's not a permanent solution, but it's a temporary relief, I guess you'd call it. So it's called a TENS machine. I got this on Amazon for, I don't know, about 30 bucks, I think, $25, $30. They're not real expensive. You can buy additional pads for another 10 bucks or so. They'll send you a package of like 24 of these pads. And it works great. You just charge it through a USB. Now, I use this thing almost every day, and sometimes 2 and 3 times a day while I'm just sitting there watching TV. And it was over a month of use before I even had to recharge it. I just recharged it a few days ago, so it's all charged back up again. So it's a great little thing. Like I say, it's not expensive. It offers a lot of options on ways to relieve muscle strain. Or I think originally they were using it it was supposed to be like working out without actually having to go to a gym or lifting anything, which is how I got into it way back in the 80s. They were touting it as a way to, get all muscled up without having to exercise. So I went to check it out, of course, and I had the commercial unit in the office, and my mom used to say, "Are you going to the doctor to get electrocuted today?" Because that's basically what I felt like I was doing. The first time I went, and the nurse put about 8 of these pads on me, and it was across my chest and stomach and stuff. It's supposed to tighten up your stomach and all these things. So she shows me right off to my right, there's the machine and the knob, and she shows me if you turn this one, it'll increase the intensity, and this one will increase the gap between, when it kicks in and stuff. So anyway, she turns it on kind of low, and she says, now, if you want to turn it up, just go ahead and whatever makes you comfortable. I'll be back in about 15 minutes. She leaves the room, and I'm sitting there, and I'm reaching over and thinking, I turn it up a little. I go, oh, yeah, that's, I could take more than that, though. I wanted to see how much of it I could actually stand. I'm kind of a masochist that way, I guess. I don't know. I also, if I ever have a scab, I have to peel it off. There's no such thing as wait till it falls off by itself. I got to do it. So anyway, in my masochistic state, I reached over there, and it was just as it was on a pause between, bursts. And as I reached for the knob, it struck me, it went on, and it made me turn the knob too far. Well, now I'm getting like extremely intense. I mean, it's like, excuse me, but I feel like I'm being in an electric chair. I'm being shocked, and I'm starting to get nervous because every time I reach for the button, it would hit me again, and the muscle would pull my arm away from the button. And I'm getting to the point where I'm getting a little panicky where I might have to call the nurse in, but I don't want to look like such an idiot for doing what I did, which was an idiot thing to do. But anyway, and finally I just had to muster up all I could. And every time it'd stop, I'd reach for the thing and it'd hit me again. And I couldn't even reach the one that make the pauses longer and stuff. So at one point I just gritted my teeth and I reached for the button and I just turned it all the way down. And I was saved. I saved myself from a fate of being electrocuted alive. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. Just a little health news for guys over 50, a little way to make your life better. That's what I'm here to do. Make your life better. I'll advise you only on the good stuff, none of the bad. Take care, y'all. I'll talk to you soon.